Sunday morning at the Eintracht Stadium in a New York suburb may lack the excitement of Highbury or Goodison Park. The standard of play is about on a level with a Sunday league in an English park. Many of America's semi-professionals will be the stars of tomorrow.
I think it's recognised throughout the world that in recent years the game has become very defensive-minded. And a lot of the interest and the excitement from a spectator point of view is leaving the game.
You don't think, do you, that there's a danger that the Americans might debase the game somewhat, as the British know it, by introducing too many gimmicks?
They can't just mess about with the rules and regulations as they wish.
Hopefully we'll have a good San Diego blues song.
But surely a blues song would imply that they're losing all the time, that they're sad about something.
That's not our intention.
And in typically American style, the fans can sit down to enjoy the action. But there's one consolation left. There's not a computer in America that has told its millionaire master that there's any money to be made out of cricket.
Dwight Davis, Hartford. Jackie, how are you? How's San Diego?
In the chandelier room of a very exclusive hotel on New York's Fifth Avenue, the start of a very exclusive get-together. A gathering of the millionaire clans at a meeting this week of America's new soccer moguls. The men behind 12 brand new clubs throughout North America who'll be launching big-time soccer there earlier next year as the National Professional Soccer League. Among them, a millionairess, the owner of a still embryo club in San Diego, California.
We have a club, the San Diego Blues. We have a stadium.
San Diego Blues?
The Blues.
This will be the name of the new team.
That's correct. It has kind of...
Sounds more like a piece of music.
Well, it is. That's exactly our intention. We're going to have a blues band, which is rather American.
What, to play before the game?
That's correct. And hopefully we'll have a good San Diego blues song.
But surely a blues song would imply that they're losing all the time, that they're sad about something.
That's not our intention.
It is their intention to get British players. Atlanta, Georgia already has Phil Woosnam as manager and coach. He thinks the future's bright.
Yes, I really think so. There's a need for it in America. They have certain national sports which cater for a person of a certain physique in baseball, basketball, and American football. I think we cater for a different type of person, a different build of person, a smaller chap, and therefore I think they will accept it. There are so many reasons, in actual fact, why they should accept football.
What did your clubmates say when they knew you were coming to the States? Did they feel that you were leaving the ship?
No, I think everyone in England sees this as a great challenge. They realize that if the Americans are going to take it seriously, that they must, everyone must take the whole matter seriously. I think we will have a lot of success, and I'm quite sure that in England there are very, very many people, not only players, but coaches and even people in the press world, who see this as a great future and a great pioneering job.
One thing being considered by some of the people who are organizing this league here is a possible change in the rules, because they argue that American fans like to have big scores. They don't like the 2-1 scores as we know them in soccer.
They are out to make the game as attractive as possible. I think it's recognized throughout the world that in recent years the game has become very defensive-minded, and a lot of the interest and the excitement from a spectator point of view is leaving the game. So I know they have ideas which will improve this and could affect the future of the game throughout the world.
Ideas that even go to widening the goalpost?
No, I don't think, no, not really. Not only the method of scoring.
Of course, one issue of joining the league here is the possibility of being outlawed by the International Association. Does that worry you?
Well, at this moment, it would appear to be a problem, but I feel sure that within days, weeks, this whole position will be reviewed by FIFA. I don't think, as yet, they are fully appreciative of the intentions and the motives behind the establishment of this league. And once they are familiar with it, then they will review the whole situation. And I therefore see it as no problem. If I had seen it as a problem, I would not have come across to America myself.
Back in England, Eric Taylor, Sheffield Wednesday's manager, was tempted with £11,000 a year to run the new league. Alan Hart asked him about the offer.
Good evening, Mr. Taylor. Have you made your decision?
I have, yes.
And what is it?
To stay with Sheffield Wednesday.
Was it a very hard decision for you to make?
Well, it wasn't easy. I wouldn't have taken this length of time had it been a simple decision. The offer was most attractive. The future was most exciting in prospect, and it was a long and hard road to take before I said, no, I will stay in England.
Will soccer ever draw American crowds as baseball does? Can soccer compete with the native brand of football, whose armour-plated giants are the envy of almost every lesser-built male in the country? A turnout of 42,000 recently in New York to see Brazil play an exhibition game convinces the promoters of soccer's pulling power. They're sure that the names of men like Pele and scores of American soccer greats, as yet undiscovered, will eventually have their place in the Sporting Hall of Fame.
Soccer isn't a new game in the United States. The immigrants brought it here in 1912. But somehow it seems to have stayed an immigrants' game ever since. Never got really into the big time. It's been played in small, rather impoverished clubs like this one in Astoria, a suburb of New York City, by players who get only a few dollars a game and who are supported mainly by their friends and members of their family. Soccer, in short, was a game that has been played mainly for the fun of the players themselves and possibly for the blowing off of a bit of steam in the feuds that you get between the strongly nationalistic groups in areas like New York City. But it never really caught on as a spectator sport. All that should stop in the next few months. Big business is moving into American soccer. Business backed by millions of dollars. By the spring of next year, one league will start 12 major clubs in cities throughout the states, a league calling itself the National Professional Soccer League, still not officially recognized here. One that is recognized will be starting another 12 clubs in 1968. The people behind the up-and-coming American soccer boom feel that they've certainly got the money, they're getting the grounds, they're going to encourage the support. What they need now are players.
Many of America's semi-professionals will be the stars of tomorrow. Youngsters who play more for the love of the game than the pittance that their struggling clubs can pay them. Behind the peeling facade of the Eintracht Stadium in a New York suburb, the standard of play is about on a level with a Sunday league in an English park. A dedicated few pay as much as 14 shillings to go in and watch, but soccer at this level is an un-American activity, ignored by nearly all but those immediately concerned. But the National Professional Soccer League brings new hope to the enthusiasts who pound the dusty pitch at Eintracht Stadium each Sunday. Coloured boys, whose natural body swerve give them a built-in advantage, could go from here to the swank Yankee Stadium overnight when big-time soccer starts. Sunday morning at Eintracht may lack the excitement of Highbury or Goodison Park, but those prepared to wait until the afternoon session, when the more polished teams come out, get better value for money. Even so, the crowds are strictly limited by law, if not by the standards of the sporting spectacle.
The referee's right! The referee's right!
Those who follow soccer at present, either as spectators or players, can be counted in thousands rather than millions. Perhaps it's because the agile soccer player lacks the He-Man image of the massive football player. But in both games, players get hurt. The difference being at present that the injured soccer player has no wealthy club behind him to pay the hospital bills. One way not to get hurt is to keep fit, and the semi-pros do their best in the limited facilities. After limbering up in their changing room, the Eintracht players have a 5-minute walk to the ground. With the improved facilities of big-time soccer on the horizon, will local games lose what little support they have now? Peter Woods asked John Stocks, the local league president.
I think they will hurt us as far as attendance is concerned, quite a bit.
The people will want to go and see the,
yes, the
glamour boys of soccer.
We'll see the glamour boys of soccer in a big stadium.
But surely a lot of your spectators are friends or relatives of the players.
Well, that's true, but we do have a general public also that have come to our games, and I think they will go to the big games after this.
How do you feel yourself about big business coming into soccer?
Well, that seems to be the American system. They have the money, and with money you can do almost anything here.
St. Louis, Missouri, with its strong German-American element, not only has the money, it also has a built-in interest in soccer. More than 10,000 local schoolboys and college students play the game as a matter of course. The brand new Busch Stadium, named after a local beer millionaire, now home of the St. Louis Cardinals football team, will soon echo to the roar of the St. Louis Rangers Soccer Club fans. And in typically American style, the fans can sit down to enjoy the action. There'll be typically American fringe benefits too, in the form, or rather forms, of cheerleaders. An addition that Sir Stanley Rouse, head of FIFA, the international association, could hardly feel constituted a change of the basic rules. The man behind big-time soccer in St. Louis is the millionaire Bob Herman. He's also president of the new league, which is yet to be recognized by the International Association or the American Association.
Well, of course, as you know, soccer is the number one sport in the world, and we feel that given the proper chance in the United States, we can build it into the number one sport here.
Are we going to see any changes in the rules of soccer when it becomes Americanized?
No, we're going to live up to the international rules. However, we hope to develop within that framework some additional figures. For instance, in baseball, people have batting averages of 343 or 422. The American public's terribly interested in that. We've got to develop some figures like that in soccer. Example, a goalie ought to be a very prominent player on the team, and we ought to be able to get some figures on him, how many goals he blocks, and build up figures on that.
Would you visualize a forward, for instance, being given so many goals per season, that type of thing?
Oh, I would think we'd certainly do something like that, yes.
Would that have any relation to their pay, as I believe it can do here with baseball?
It probably would. Whether it'd be a direct relationship or not, I don't know, but it probably would.
How many British players are you going to lure over here, if I can use the word?
Well, I think probably, we hope, somewhere between 30 and 50.
What sort of contract will they get?
Well, most of them will have probably 2-year contracts, although this is, of course, between the coach and the player.
Now, your league hasn't been recognized yet by the United States Football Association. Doesn't this mean that British players who come over here to join you are going to be outlawed by the International Federation?
Well, of course, we don't like the word outlawed. We say we're unaffiliated at the present time. But we believe if we conduct ourselves properly and put on a good show, good teams, that eventually we hope we will be recognized.
I can't see that anything that is good, and this was going to be good, and will be good, will eventually be outlawed by FIFA. I don't think the application has been right at the consideration table of FIFA to be judged yet has been turned down. I don't say it's been accepted, but I think it's a bit early yet to say it's been turned down.
Yeah.
In any case, they can't play soccer unless they get in FIFA. So there'll be no job, there'll be no league.
So it couldn't get off the ground without
No.
recognition?
It couldn't.
Now, there's already been a suggestion by some of the organizers of the new league that they want to change around the rules a bit. Some of the things they're thinking of doing is stepping up the scoring rate with a point system for goalkeepers who make good saves and points for, or penalizing players who make fouls. Do you think this is really a good idea?
They can't just mess about with the rules and regulations as they wish, but to give points, not necessarily for the goalkeeper's special ability, but for scoring goals instead of winning matches, I can see that as being a very progressive move. In fact, I suggested that myself in England only 2 years ago.
You don't think, do you, that there's a danger that the Americans might debase the game somewhat as the British know it by introducing too many gimmicks?
A lot has been said about US gimmicks, but in my interviews with the American football sponsors, I don't think they're relying entirely on gimmickry. They're really serious in this attempt to float soccer, and if they can benefit by us having been in the game 100 years, and they're able, but in the formation of a new league, and we can't get through because of our old traditions and so on, then I would favour a lot of the moves that they have in mind.
One of the American club owners is a millionairess who's going to call her club the San Diego Blues. How do you think British players who go over there are going to react to having a woman for a boss?
I don't think necessarily it will be an objection, because already we have within the British Isles, we can call Era a member of British Isles. Certainly in Dublin we have Mrs. Cunningham, who has been a most influential figure in Irish soccer. It's had no handicap there, and I don't think the mere fact that a woman is in charge of a man's game really should say, well, let's go into it. She can have all the millions behind her that she may have, and I don't know her worth at all. If she can't produce the results on the Saturday, or whenever they play the matches in America, wealth at home won't mean anything. The supporters of the club, the team, will not turn up unless it's successful.
Go on it. Fine.
Already, hundreds of young Americans are training hard to become the new glamour boys of American sport. British soccer followers may well be worried, and not only by the prospect of their stars seeking transatlantic fame. There's that ugly little entry in the record books, which reminds us that America beat England in the World Cup in 1950. But there's one consolation left. There's not a computer in America that has told its millionaire master that there's any money to be made out of cricket.
Let's relax there. You got guys do much better. The ball has been falling 50 times already on the ground. Not talking, I didn't tell you. You just do it. Keep going. You don't let the ball fall down on the ground. Keep him up. Come on. I said with the heads. That's good. Keep going. Backward, backward. Fine. Pick it up.